Hello everyone. I having just absolute difficulties right now with my computer. This is fine. This is fine. Hello out there. Look at that. Yeah, I Autobot, Alan, Benjamin. Yes, I did a homage to the people that sent in a picture of their cars because that's America. This is the America show because we're on the what is it? The 4th of July Eve, Independence Day Eve, as they would say. And might as well salute America because nothing more American than have first car. Because like in Sicily, you got your first donkey, and so that's just kind of cool. Yeah, hi. Hello, Barbara. How are you? How you doing? What I say? Oh, Jamie. Hi, how you doing? Good, great. Yep. So I've been a little busy today. I'm working on videos. If you've been on my channel, I actually put out 2 videos. I'm actually working on 2 more. And I made pizza dough today. I made pizza dough because tomorrow's 4th of July, and we'll make a pizza. Make a nice Neapolitan pizza in the oven. Maybe I'll put that up on the Instagram a little or some of the social stuff there. Um, what's that crown symbol next to my name? Okay. Let's see. Oh, Vintage 76, how you doing? Cool. Look at that. See, burgers and bread. See, that's I guess that's American. I ended up buying a new pizza oven because I like toys. It was at Aldi. Aldi has a pizza oven for $99. It gets real hot. It goes up to 1100 degrees. So I'm gonna give it a try and see if I get some real crispy pizza action. And I'll post some pictures. Yeah, got to post pictures. Um, yes, talking about my other endeavor of listening to the horrible Stern show. Yes, by the way, thanks for your service. Listening to Stern today should get you into veterans benefits. Yes, you should. Uh, Autobot Alley must have a pizza video. Pizza video. I don't know. I don't know how I could put that on my car video thing, unless I was cooking the pizza on the engine of the car. I don't know how that turned out. I'll show pictures of it though. I'll put pictures on my social for this channel because I'm curious. The new oven. I'm gonna get that sucker hot. I got a crown. I must be. Huh. I wish I knew what everyone was talking about. I'm a little lost. That's fine though. That's fine. It's good stuff. It's all fine. It's all fine and good. So yeah, actually, it's been a very busy week, which is really weird. Well, for myself, being as going into 4th of July, but also in the car world, it has actually been kind of freaking crazy. All the stuff coming out. Um, let's see. There's a crown symbol that appears next to all our names in the chat, but I don't see it where I am sitting. I don't see it. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait, let's take a look here. Hold on. Let's go. All right, I'm looking right now. All right, I added it because yes, I was asked to last week. And let me see. Let me see if what you guys are talking about because YouTube's been doing really weird things. Weird things. And let me go on here. Oh, wow. I can see myself. That is friggin' really disturbing. I'm probably going to get feedback if I don't hurry up and turn the sound off. I can't. Oh, where am I doing? Oh, there we go. Oh, I don't see anything here. All right, guys, man. This is just, oh, freaking weird. And what did I just shut down? Did I just shut down the live on Stupid Graham? Oh boy. Uh, what do you know? Okay. Things are going great today. Oh, I think we gotta go back to that. All right, yeah. So things are going obviously really well for me. Oh, your guys are top. Oh, it's for top fans. Wow, you guys are top fans. Awesome. Oh, Benjamin doesn't have one. I'm so sorry, Benjamin. I'm so sorry. Barbara DeRush, I guess you can't see the crowns. You're not royalty, and on DJ's garage, I can't see them, and I went and looked, and then I blasted my my stupid gram right out of the sky because why not? I just absolutely just stopped it because well, it's stupid gram. Okay, so let's go over some of the interesting things that are I don't know going on this week because it was very busy. I was busy. I did a review on the F1 movie. F1 movie. That was quite quite good. I would highly recommend it. Oh wow, look at it, just popped up there. So yeah, I would highly recommend this movie. Um, it is a quality movie, F1, and the commercial in there is not part of the movie because I hate these commercials. But this movie is a very good movie. I did a full review of it on the channel, um, and I like it. Autobot Al, great review. Thanks, Dennis. How much did you spend at the theater? Um, because Atom Tickets, which was a thing from T-Mobile Tuesday, didn't work. It didn't work, and I wanted to go to a real theater since this is a 2.5 hour movie. It cost me $40 for a matinee for 3 people. $40 to see this movie. I mean, I was in a Chase lounge that was heated, but yeah, it is expensive as hell. And of course, we brought in snacks from outside. Dollar Tree is your friend. So yeah, and it was like $18 for drinks because 3 people. Yeah, we got drinks. All right, right today they're already talking about a sequel. How? Uh, I don't know how you make a sequel to that movie, but okay. Um, yes, Barbara DeRush, $40 just for the movie, no snacks, no snacks. The snacks we got at Dollar Tree, you can buy all the things you can buy at this movie theater at Dollar Tree. They have the mints, they have junior mints, they have the raisinets, they have dark chocolate raisinets. You can get all the chips and whatnot, and that's literally what we did. It was $6 for just regular drinks. You got free refills, and it had the fancy Coke machine. But we also sat through a half hour of basically commercials. So where at my theater, it was 3 hours for me to watch the movie. 3 hours. Yes, small Pepsi is $300. I actually had to fill out a loan application. It was terrible. Barbara Rush, I got 10 pieces of popcorn at the movie the last time I went. I threw 5 of them in the trash. Wow, that's pretty bad. Yes, Barbara, they have all the candy at Dollar Tree, and it is dirt cheap. It's a dollar and a quarter now. And Puzzle has now dug her nails into my thigh. Yay. This is awesome stuff now. Okay, so let's get into this. This also happened this week. Not that this did, where they took this thing that looks like a General Lee. It's actually a Crown Victoria with Dodge Charger body panels on it, and they jumped it through some sort of fountain, and it was in Northeast Ohio Dukes. Somerset is a New Hampshire county, and they jumped it through. And let's watch what happens. So, and then it goes through, and then cameraman going to die. Wow. So That was, that was close. That was a little close there. That was crazy. I mean, the thing is at Mo Party, I don't know if they're gonna be back at Mo Party next year, and, but last year, Holly didn't want them there because it was offensive because they have a flag from the part of the United States that was the South on there, so they weren't there. But now that this happened, and that car when it lands, they have no idea where it's going to go. So I've seen it. I've seen the car jump. It's crazy. He rebuilds it every time, and that's kind of nuts. So yeah, that was just one of the real. That was just kind of terrifying as that thing came down, though. 'Cause it and wait, here's actually the view as it goes right at the cameraman. Um, that would have hurt, and then it stops. I like how those people are cheering, and it stopped, like, 15 feet away from them. Like, wow, see, now, see how the car, I mean, the car really isn't, it's just a shell. See, they're just taking all the loose metal off there. I mean, it's really not a built car, thank God, because they used to destroy Chargers to do this, all the 69s. They destroyed them. They're not dumb rednecks. This is Ohio, you wanna call them rednecks? I'm sorry, but, they're not rednecks. They're not. So, I don't know, it's a spectacle, though. You have to see it happen once because it is, it's quite terrifying to watch this 4,000-pound car, um, and, I mean, this 4,000-pound car that goes many, many feet in the air and comes straight down on the ground. I mean, it's not like he's landing on a ramp or anything. I mean, he's landing squarely on the ground, which is absolutely nuts. I thought there was one in Kentucky. No, this guy is in Ohio. He goes around. He is like the guy that does the General Lee jumps now. Uh, Ohio has a little meth problem. Come to north of Tampa. You want to talk about meth? Let's talk about meth in north of Tampa. It's because you walking down the street. Are they on Ozempic or are they on meth? That is literally the game you can play. You got it's literally the game you can play. Is it Ozempic or is it meth? So yeah, so this was kind of insane. The big thing. Actually, I didn't even pull the story up, but I should. Um, is this, and I'm doing a video on it. Um, I'm doing a video on this right now. Uh, Stellantis names Tim Kanuskis head of American Brands North American Marketing and Retail. And I'm doing a video on this because this is actually a big thing for American manufacturers at this point. Uh, and it's it's going to be fascinating to see if they really give him autonomy. Because if they don't give him autonomy, this doesn't mean anything. It's just basically like having, an honorary person be the head of a committee. So I'm doing a video on this right now because I have an interesting kind of take on the way it should be done and hopefully to what he will be doing if he really is in charge. So this is going to be kind of fun. Uh let me see. Do Yeah, yeah. You don't wanna get some of that stuff. You do wanna get if you want Barbara DeRush, do you want to get some stuff done? You'll be up for 3 days. Yeah, yeah. The methamphetamines kinda have that. They kinda have that effect. Yeah, I'm not big into that. I like to get a little bit of sleep in my life. Yeah, no. It's not the best. Uh, yeah, Benjamin, that's it. If they have more than 3 teeth, it's Ozempic. Correct. That's how we know. That's how we know. So, uh, yeah, what else has been happening is that the classic car market has been having a little bit of a problem. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I found this interesting article though. It's kind of interesting. 5 vehicles that are staying strong in a soft market. So these are vehicles where the prices are still going up. Now, the thing is, when you see the vehicles on this list, they weren't they were not that high to start with. So they're going to be strong because the other stuff's still too expensive. And we're actually having a big correction in the old car market. Huge correction. Uh, stuff that's between 65 and 71. I mean, it's losing. It's losing. It's probably going to lose 8 to 10%, maybe 20%, depends in the next year. But this is kind of I find this fascinating because first of all, the first one is of course the 70 to 76 Duster. It's the A body. Now the thing about this, it says average increase 32%. But the thing about this is anything after 72, it isn't really wanted unless you modify it to make it look like a 72. If you take it and you put these bumpers on it and you put this grill in there, because this is the shark tooth grill. This is the grill they want. 71, I think 71, 72 had this. The first 3 years had that grill, I believe. But it has a small bumpers on it, and this is what you want. But then when you go to the later ones, they're not a big thing. And plus, it's an A body. There aren't a lot of them around, and I think a lot of this is getting skewed because some of the 340s are going for close to or 6-digit money, which is it's really not a good thing. I hope that the guys bring back the Plymouth Horizon. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's why they did that. Part of that thing, Cletus from Dukes of Hazzard passed away a few days ago. Yes, they did that jump in his honor as they almost killed the cameraman. Good stuff, right? Great stuff. Good things going on there, man. So, I mean, this is if you see this is like a really cheap. These are really cheap cars. I mean, the 340s they're saying is $330,000 range, but I mean, I've seen them for close to 100. Uh, because of craziness, but they're not really a lot. Now, this doesn't count of 2024 Porsche. All right, now slobs. The Slob 900. This has a cult following. Not a lot of them around. They're not. They don't. I don't see them traded very much. I don't see them at shows very much. I mean, I go to open stuff, and it's a cult vehicle. So this is kind of a weird article. Now, these I've seen 2 of these in the last 2 years. Once again, the Subaru Brat. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense that this is on the list because honestly, there once again, not a lot of these around, and they have a cult following. I mean, so the list really is the only one on here, and then the 73 to 91 Chevrolet GMC Suburban. Yeah, okay. These actually, I know they're coming up. They're big. The 91s that aren't as much. You see, it's the 70s ones that are holding more value. This and best worst of all though, this was written by Haggerty, and it's really strange. 73 Duster, Ben Affleck throwing Jason. Yeah, that was a cool car. Yeah, the Brat was basically a copy of that. It was when they came out with those Brats. When they came out with those Brats, it was like what year was it? 78. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was still a gas crisis, and it was a way to have something resembling a truck, and it had the crazy jump seats in the back, which I think are illegal in like most states because they are dangerous. But this was for fuel economy, and to have a little pickup truck. That's why they did it. So yeah. 76 made the Brat for 70. Never saw one on the road. No kidding. Oh my god, I used to see them all the time. A lot less now. because I mean they're Japanese, and Japanese cars are notorious for turning into well, dust. They rot like there's nobody's business, and that's just kind of the way they are. They just rot away. So that's why you probably haven't seen them, because you're up north, and they do not handle they don't handle that very well. They don't handle that very well at all. So it's just kind of, you know, it's just kind of, not a car that's going to wrangle. But the same, the thing is, if you live in the Rust Belt, all those cars, well, except for the brand new one, and the trucks actually hold up a little bit better, but they're all going to disintegrate. Chrysler A bodies uh, are absolutely horribly built cars. I mean, when you look at this car, this A body here, that's what we call this. This is an A body. When you look at this Duster, I mean, they rotted everywhere. They rotted in the tail panels because the water sealing was poor. They rotted behind the wheel wells because there's a catch there for the water to sit in. They rotted in front of the wheel wells because there's a place for the water. The bottom of the doors rot, and always behind the fender here because it's not it wasn't coated, and the metal is really thin on these cars. They were terribly made cars. So how any of them are around is absolutely amazing. Uh, yeah. Yep, Vintage 76. Yep, New England. Yeah, that's not a place. Barbara DeRush, you're in upstate New York's road salt. Oh God, yes. Actually, it was so funny. I have a friend that he lived in Michigan, and what they would do is in October they would buy a winter car because they had their normal nice car they drove during the summer and spring, summer, and fall, and they would buy a winter car, and they would just drive that during the winter because the salt was so bad, and literally they would just get, $100 car, and by the end of the winter you could see through the floor on the car. They would absolutely just disintegrate from the road salt. Horrible, horrible stuff. Just absolutely terrible. So I just, I just, yeah, it's. But these A bodies I mean, they were just absolute cheap cars. I mean, they were garbage, but and they were made to last the 3 years, 36,000 mile Chrysler warranty. That's what they were made to do. Barber, throw a little cardboard down on the holes in the floorboards, you'd be fine. Yeah, absolutely. Or actually, if you just go get some sheet steel and then a drill and some pop rivets, you can do a little patch panel. I mean, then you spray paint it. Get the rattle can out, hit it with some Rust-Oleum black or something. Keep it from going any worse. Right? Isn't that how you do it? Isn't that how you do it? Yeah. Oh, Jamie, I had a Jeep Cherokee. The body looked perfect. When it was on the lift, mechanic told me to look at it. I was frightened on how much rust was how rusted the undercarriage was. Oh my, yeah. Oh, those were terrible too. I mean, yeah. Um, those things just disintegrate. Hey, to Diesel Larry, after snow plowing, I get on their truck and wash the salt off. Absolutely. You have to. Up there they have fluid film. I think that they use up there. I think WD-40 makes a product, and there's a couple of them that you spray on, and it's supposed to keep the metal from getting corroded. I see that on the Bronco forums where people do this because they're up north, and yeah, it's kind of a thing. But yeah, washing off. My mother used to go to the car wash all the time in the wintertime. I mean, just literally, it'd be 25 degrees outside hitting the car wash. Winter beat is a great idea, says Vintage 76 Garage, but a junk car costs easily 5K. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I can do a whole video on going on Facebook Marketplace and pulling up $2,000 cars and telling you how many thousands you're going to have to put in this car to make it usable. Let's see. Barbara DeRush had another Jeep. I had a '98 Jeep Cherokee. I drove right into the ground. I used to drive it in the winter, just got rid of it like 3 years ago, and it was still running. Yes, I imagine it had the 4-liter, inline 6. That 4-liter is an indestructible engine. You have to do really stupid things to break that engine, really stupid things. But yeah, the bodies on those, you know, that 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 was still using a lot of the techniques from American Motors. Yeah, yeah, do you use Larry? Yeah, yes, I forgot the name. Yeah, fluid film. That's what they all that's what everybody in the Broncos up there use that take them out. I actually saw people that have Broncos and they put them away for the winter. Uh, yeah, that you deserve to be roasted at that point because that ain't right. That's just not right. I'm sorry. It's a four-wheel drive vehicle. And, most of the upper ones have lockers front and rear. I mean, I couldn't think of something better I'd want to use in the snow. Better than my Charger. My Charger was the most dangerous thing in the world. Most dangerous thing in the world in the snow. It literally there was no traction. No matter what you put in the trunk, it wouldn't matter. The car would just the zigzag. Vintage 76 Garage, 4-liter with 3 pedals are fun to drive. Yep. Yeah, tons of torque because it's easy to take off with them because there's so much torque in that inline 6 that honestly, you know, you could just go and pull and pull and pull and, you could 1200 RPM, you could just start rolling it. You don't have to be crazy on it. It's absolutely great. Jamie, talking to Barbara, of course. Best car for winter. It was my first car with 4-wheel drive. Ah, yes, the Jeep. Ah, lots of noise all of a sudden outside. Yeah, yeah. So I was lucky. I escaped New York when I was 17, so I didn't have to actually drive too many winters with my Charger. I drove, I guess one. I guess I drove one winter with my Charger, and that was more than enough. Driving, and this is so hard to explain to people under 40 because back then we had these cars and we had to drive them in the snow, and they were terrible in the snow. I mean, they weren't even bad, they were terrible in the snow. I mean, you have no idea how bad the cars are back then compared to the cars today with traction. I mean, even the cars from the '90s had better traction because the suspensions got more sophisticated and the tires got better. I mean, I had what was considered a good tire, and it today would be junk. It would be one of those tires, the compound and the tread pattern would be something you found at Walmart, and it would be at the $60 level of tire. So it's just not good. You guys are making me really want to do a thing on Jeeps. Really want to do a video on Jeeps, and actually, I think I'm going to. I because I've been working on this because I'm going to be talking about when Chrysler bought AMC, and honestly, I think a lot has been forgotten about that deal. A lot has been forgotten about that deal, and why it really wasn't a great idea. I mean, Chrysler got the Jeep, but who's to say they wouldn't have gotten it 3 years later because AMC was pretty dead. Hey, there's our big winner, Ed Rooney. Hey, Ed, how you doing? Stuff's on its way. Oh yeah. As for last week, everybody, thank you once again. And stuff's going out. I'm having absolutely a nightmare at my store, but things have gone out, and yeah, Uncle Tony loves his Jeeps, and you know what? He reminds me of my friend Jim, who moved up to the mountains, because he had one of those Cherokees, all-wheel drive, and he got rid of it, and he bought a Wrangler. And, I'm like, why don't you just buy a Bronco? Buy something new and that's actually good. And he bought, and then so he's up there, and he loves his Jeeps. He's all about his Jeeps, and it was yeah, but Uncle Tony's gone a little on that weird little thing trying to make a Jeep, a drag Jeep. Granted, I'm a little jealous. I wish I had more room. I'm working on that. because I would like to do something that's stupid also. Because why not? Because why not? We might as well try. I got because I got to figure out what would be the stupidest vehicle to try to make into a race car. And a Jeep is pretty high on that list. I'm just trying to figure what else you put out there. Of course, Benjamin drove his '84 Chevette with rear-wheel drive and no power steering through many winters. Oh, that must have been real pleasant. Good lord, that had to be so unpleasant. Wait, did you at least have heat? I'm curious. Did you actually have heat in that car? Because that has a small engine, and I wondered, did you have heat? I didn't have any heat in my Charger. I honestly, I was freezing in that thing. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. Let's see. Oh, okay. Some more. I have a as we sit here and wait. I have some more great American news here because why not? It's Miracle Night. Oh wait, it had AM radio. It had AM radio. Benjamin says it had heat and AM radio. Holy mackerel, that's craziness. Uh, Jeeps are still cheap down there. Now, oh no, not in Florida. Oh no, 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 no. Jeeps are stupid expensive down here. Stupid expensive. I mean, those Cherokees from the '90s, if they're in any shape, you're talking 5,000, 6,000. I mean, they're not even that nice. It's 5,000, 6,000 without even thinking. You can't touch a Jeep for that much. Hey, it's Sue M. Hi, Sue M. I love your puppy. I think that's a gray. Is that a greyhound? I can tell. It has a long face. Uh, let's see. Oh, yeah, they made the UG Grand Cherokee type, too much like a car, not like a truck. Yes. Well, that was the whole thing. That's the problem with Jeep. Actually, and I'm doing the video I'm finishing up now kind of addressed that because Jeep is really yeah, Uncle Tony keeps buying them cheap because when he buys them, they're garbage. They have real problems with them, and they're not dailies, so he has time. Let's see. Benjamin, I had a high school friend who also had a Chevette, and his had air. Wow. When it was on only half the power, yeah, probably. Oh, it's a Whippet. Whippet good. Yeah, I love Whippets. I love Whippets. They're one of my favorite little dogs. They're so because they're just a sight hound. They're totally harmless. I love that about them. Jeeps here in Washington have winches because people always get stuck in the mud. Well, yes. Hey, we have a lot of people down here in Florida have that too because well, mud, sand, you name it, we got it. High water, flooding, things of that nature. Good things. So I saw this the other day and I shook my head. So everyone remembers the why is this wait a minute, hold on, let me fix this because this stupid this stupid thing. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta Yeah, okay. I think I got it. I think I got this fixed. All right. God, I don't know what was going on there. Okay, so Dodge is recalling all the Demon 170 muscle cars. So they made a big thing about those Demon 170s. They were selling them for like double sticker. Uh, okay. Wait, before I even continue, hold on. Let me go. Wait, I got some stuff in the chat. Dennis, turn a VW thing into a dragster. First of all, I can't afford to buy one of those. It would be fun as hell because I know a guy that builds those Volkswagen engines, but I can't get it for the price of admission because I could buy like four cars to make drag racers out of. Yes, the Whippets can run like the wind. Uh, let's see. So let's go back to this. So they're recalling all these Demon 170s now. Can any? I mean, And the reason this car is getting recalled is mind-numbing. If you're someone or somebody who owns a Dodge Challenger Demon 170, listen up. Each and every one of you has been recalled recently for a problem you probably haven't heard about, but you know it strikes your it strikes your muscle car. It results in a sudden loss of power, misfiring, etc. That's disappointing for anyone who paid for premium to get the Demon 170 since it's the first and foremost a powerhouse. Well, it's a almost 1,000 horsepower engine. In the past, Dodge has instructed dealer service departments to regap the spark plugs. Anybody having that problem, including these other YouTuber, Butta the Insider. He's having a hard time. So after a year of doing all this stuff with gaps, and now they're gonna go and they have to gap the spark plugs. They basically put the wrong spark plugs in this car. And they were just set way too wide. So what's happening, it didn't have enough juice to go across and make combustion. And honestly, they were talking about how people got charged for this, even though it wasn't their problem, like before the recall happened. That is in 3,000 cars, every spark plug has to be changed. And it's actually kind of insane that nobody caught this in the research and development. Nobody caught it. And honestly, how you actually let this happen is mind numbing. It really is, especially a high profile car. It truly is. It truly makes no sense at all how you allow this to happen. And it's just yeah, yeah. Two is hilarious. I've been having a hard time with my plugs on the diesels. Hot glow plugs. Yeah, exactly. But to explain this, if the gap is too big on the spark plug and it tries to fire and it doesn't have enough juice to make the whole thing flame, it will misfire. It will just basically get wet and it'll go by. Now, the worst case scenario is that you can end up getting it where it doesn't do that and it fires at the wrong time, like from the compression, and it can actually damage the car, especially something like this. If it's doing this at wide open throttle, it's 6,000 RPM with all that PSI. Yeah, I mean, you could take that motor out. So I mean, this is actually not a little thing. It's kind of embarrassing, and I wonder how many other things are wrong with this car. And so honestly, um, I'll read this in a second. Honestly, the this is why I always been saying, and I am working on this video too. These things are not collector's items. And people that sit there and have these Chargers and Challengers, these last calls and all the other crap out there, that you're not holding on to a collector's item. You're holding on to a potential time bomb. Because at the end of the day, when that warranty is up and that thing breaks, to fix that damn car is going to be mind-numbingly expensive. Seriously, if that transmission just decides not to work, no fault of your own, and it's out of warranty, you're talking 8 grand. 8 grand. That rear end blows up. Yeah, you're probably talking about 4 grand. And if the engine, I mean, those engines are like $20,000 to $30,000. You're on the hook. Electrical wiring, sensors, and stuff. I mean, those things are $1,000 in those cars. So anybody thinking that they're going to sit there with this car, with these Demon 170s, and hold it as an investment, you're insane. Because first of all, if you paid more than sticker, you're stupid. Because that's the highest that car is ever going to be worth. 20 years from now, that car may not be worth scrap. Honest to God, it has nothing to do with regulations. Everything to do with the electronics and stuff on them goes bad. They don't run. They need that computer to make them run right. Otherwise, the engines don't run right, or they won't run at all. And you're talking about a thing that is making almost 1,000 horsepower with a supercharger on there, and everything has to be just right. Otherwise, it will blow the motor apart. So I really find this kind of embarrassing. The mentality I've seen just because other stuff was collectible doesn't mean that other things are collectible. It's just the way it works. It's not the real. It's not the thing. It's not the way it works in life. I mean, the old cars became collectible because there weren't a lot of them. They stopped making them, but they were also maintainable. Uh, I mean, even a Hemi sitting in a barn, let's say it's in a barn in Arizona, and it can't be it's not rusting. It's really the only problem, some of the rubbers or whatever is bad, but everything else. You can go and clean that motor up, clean the gas tank out, do a little bit of maintenance, and have that car running. You could have that car running in a day. But one of these, if you leave that D170 sitting for a month, the battery will be dead, completely and utterly dead. Um, and it's really not good. Uh, you know, to have this whole mentality, everything is a collector's item, and that's kind of the problem we have right now with just our everything and our thing, because our whole the culture actually has gone, like, it's stagnated, and it's, like, stagnated in the mid-80s, and or early 90s, I guess. It's, like, stagnated and stopped. So there's no new ideas. Like, this car is the ultimate in no new ideas, and it kinda it's kinda "Oh, see you later." Wait, hold on, let me take a second. My cat that kinda looks like Puzzle, and she lived to be 21. Absolutely, I hope that Puzzle lives to 100. Seriously, she's my little pal. She's always with me. Absolutely always with me. But, when you sit here and you look at this car, we're stuck in such a cultural malaise that we have something that looks like a car that failed 40 something years ago, and people are paying above sticker for it just because they're gonna only make 3,000 of them. Okay, great, grand. I mean, it's like I don't even understand it. There's a lot more cars you can buy for $160,000 that are just better cars. I mean, you can't. I mean, but oh, it won't be as fast. Blah blah, whatever. But I mean, I just find this all so insane. And of course, Stellantis. This is the uphill battle that Kuniskis has right now, because this is quality control. So yeah, right up to the last 6 months, she was great. Oh my god, please, you're gonna make me cry. I'm trying to do a car show here. Oh, that's too much. Come out of an up tempo record. Yeah, talk about a damn dog death. But yeah, so these cars, when I go to Mo Party, I'm actually it's the only time I'm truly I appreciate them, because I do drag racing, and the people that own them beat the living hell out of these cars. Um, Absolutely beat the hell out of these cars, and and they race them. I mean, they modify them. Hell, the Hellcats run 10-second quarter miles, but they run the hell, and then they drive them home. I actually passed them on the highway with the numbers still, in shoe polish on the windows. It was actually cool. Well, Jamie, an expensive car can be a reliable car. It was built by Stellantis, and there's a high probability it won't be reliable. That's kind of the problem they have. They actually were ranked toward the bottom. Actually, third, second from the bottom, third from the bottom, fourth from the bottom. And I think Ram was a little higher up, but they literally near the bottom on JD Power, because they just build garbage. They literally do. Yes, there ain't no party like a Mo Party. Absolutely. The demons were only able to get up one app. Unfortunately, it's MySpace. Benjamin, bring it. I had to read that one. Uh, yeah, but so this is just kind of parts of the problem that Kuniskis has to deal with, because this is only a couple years ago that they came out with this car, and he was there. But you just when you have a company that that literally is still just looks at bottom line and beats on their suppliers to make things as cheap as possible. You're not gonna, you're not gonna make great products. And this was just not a great product. But you know, as usual, General Motors, General Motors always, always, always um, likes to say, "Hold my beer," because everybody. I'm hoping everybody out there has heard of the new Zero One. They have a new Zero One came out. It's a 1,083 horsepower. 1,083 horsepower car. I mean, this thing's an animal. I mean, honestly, I'm actually impressed. I didn't think they could build that much horsepower in this type of car, but they did. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I haven't seen one yet. I'm like, all right, well, but usually in Florida, I see stuff like this. Because in Florida, it's just warm. People go and buy expensive cars. And I mean, I see Ferraris all the time, Lamborghinis, McLarens. I'm actually tired of seeing McLarens. And the the regular Corvettes are everywhere. I see Hellcats all over the place. Um, and let's see. Let's see. Oh, wait. All right. 1,000 horsepower in case you need to drive through. No, you just want to run an 8-second quarter mile. Literally, you feel like you're in a, yes, as D2 Diesel Larry says, torque must be insane. Yes. Literally, it's like being in a rocket ship. I've ridden, I haven't driven a Hellcat yet, which is weird. I need to go drive one. But I've ridden in Hellcats. And it literally is the type of car where you could put the $100 on a dash and dare somebody to grab it, and they're not going to grab it. The torque in this thing's crazy. Dennis says, seen Cena pass you by with his nice cars. Yes, I have seen him. I have seen him driving around in my area. I have seen him at breakfast, pulling up in a very inexpensive breakfast place in a Ferrari because he's John Cena. He still does his Superbird. He still has all the stuff. He's around, and yes, I do see it. Let's see. 1,000 horsepower in case you want to travel back in time. You can almost yes, you can almost re-rotate the Earth. Oh, okay. All right. Since I haven't got the next story, any update on the EV chargers? Hold on. Let us go take a look on Stellantis second second quarter results because they only do quarter for 2025. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So here we go. Give me numbers. Hold on. I'm looking for it real fast. I'm trying to read. Let's see. Wow. Let's see. I read an overview, and they don't even have the numbers. They don't even have the numbers. Here we go. Mopar Insiders, which is basically just the Q2 RAM. Oh, here we go. So everybody curious, I'm going to pop this up on the screen. How the Charger EV did. Holy Jesus. Wow. Wow. Okay. So here is the big reveal. How did the Charger electric appliance do in the second quarter? As bad as it did in the first. They sold 2,352 of them in 3 months. So that's 800 a month. And they have what? 2,500 dealerships. They didn't sell one per dealership over 3 months. 2,300 of them. And that's with tax credits and all the other garbage you get on there. Now, the only other stunning number on here is the Dodge Hornet. I've seen 8 now. They sold 1,500 of them in 3 months. That's 500 a month. 500 the month. Let's see. Suam, oh, about the John Cena. He's getting a lot of shit about his hair plugs and he owns it. Yeah, I'll next time I see him as I'm running away, or hopefully he'll laugh. Um, I'll bring it up. Suam, I don't get what horsepower means. Like, what is that? Miles per hour? No, no. Horsepower. Horsepower was a designation of power to relate it back to the power of a horse. Because you got to remember when they did these cars in the 1900s, when they did car and engine, they had to figure out a way to rate it. And it is actually a working of torque. Torque you can measure, and then you take torque and then times times the RPM where peaks or whatever, and then divide it by 5250, and that gives you your horsepower number. So if you have 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque at 5,250 RPM, you have 1,000 horsepower. That's the way it works. So it's just a way to calculate um, top end power on an engine, because torque is low end power, horsepower is high end power, and there's no really way to measure high end power besides, because torque is really kind of a useless number when you're when an engine is accelerating to 7,000 RPM, because the torque number falls off, but the car is still pulling forward. So that's why they had to come with the whole thing. So yeah, just thank you, Sue. I hope good. I can explain these things. Actually, Articulate John, well, I just read something about running out of fossil fuels that they're not fossils. There is now a lot of evidence that it's actually just something the Earth makes naturally, which cool. Which also means, if the Earth makes it naturally, that when you have an oil spill or anything like that, it's not a big deal because nature's going to clean it up because it's from nature, right? I mean, you got to look at it that way. If it's natural and it spills, nature will clean it up. It's nasty, but it'll get cleaned up. But yeah, that's what I read, and I'll go with it because there's been the way that where they're finding it and how they find it. It doesn't make any sense of it being from things from millions of years ago because it's way too deep, way too deep. The amount of distance they have to go down, it's way below where there are any type of fossils. So there's got to be another reasoning for this. The Earth does lots of weird things. You got to remember, we've never gone through the crust, right? I mean, crust is 30 miles. We haven't gotten into the mantle yet, Mickey or otherwise. And I mean, we haven't gotten down there yet. And a lot of this stuff is theory because we don't know. Um, yeah, Ed Rooney. Yeah, I guess Ed Rooney's seen the same thing. They found previously empty oil wells and now oil again. It's probably a byproduct of natural process of the Earth. Yep, I have no problem. I want to. I want my car. I want to buy the car I want. If it gets, I want gas to be $1 a gallon, and I want to get 7 miles to the gallon. I want to have. I want a big. I want a big Lincoln Continental 4-door. Yeah. Dennis showers using Mopar 5W30. No, actually, I have to use 2050. I'm very creaky and old, so I need 2050. I'm very creaky. Dude, he's hilarious. It was dinosaurs. Don't question it. Okay. No. From my understanding, that it seems more likely that it's a natural process, not a dead dino. So anyway, let's take a look at this again, though. And hold on a second. So if you look, the Uh, they haven't they sold 575 Chargers from last the old one in this quarter. They sold over 1,000 leftover Chargers and Challengers that are 2 years old. Hell, they sold 3 Journeys. They haven't made the Journey in, like, 3 years. They sold a Grand Caravan, which has been made in, I think, 4 years? This is, how does this happen? Can anybody tell me how you sell, like, stuff like this? And, so the Dodge brand wow. So the Dodge brand sold 25,000 vehicles in the second quarter. They haven't made 50,000 vehicles. They haven't made 50,000 vehicles yet this year. Wow. In the prior year when they were selling cars people wanted, they made 92,000 cars. They sold 92,000 cars. Their sales are almost half. As Borat would say, "Great success." So that is why Tim Kuniskis is now running North America because this needs to be stopped if this company wants to stay around. Benjamin says that sounds bad. It is bad. Y- I mean, in the they sold so far. I think they sold more RAV4s than Dodge has sold vehicles this year. That's how bad it is, and that's why Kuniskis is now running Chrysler. Chrysler Corp, which is what I'm gonna call it, because it is Chrysler Corp. Always will be. Yes. I don't know how they sell these cars that are decades old, but they did. It's crazy. Barbara DeRush. People don't wanna spend money now that they don't know what's gonna happen. Yes and no. A lot of stuff, though, on cars have just gotten to the point cars and insurance have gotten to the point where there has to be some sort of reset because it has gotten to the point, especially in Florida. Like I could never conceive buying a 500 or 600 horsepower new car. I couldn't afford. I mean, I'm middle aged. I couldn't afford to insure that car. Absolutely, positively not. And the price of cars. I mean, you're talking 50 grand for almost everything. There's no easy fix. Well, unless they deregulate, that would be nice. That's just my thoughts. Did Jaguar say they were going all electric? Yes, and then nobody bought Jaguars. In fact, they had a colossal collapse. Congratulations. You've destroyed your brand, an ancient English brand that's now run by an Indian company. Congratulations. You have won the booby prize of actually outdoing Stellantis and showing how to screw things up. I'm very happy. Barbara DeRush, very smart here. I always bought a 3-year-old car that just came off lease. Well, the problem is in 2024, if you were trying to find that, there were none because there was a certain, there was a certain thing that was happening. There was a little bit of a cold, and there was some things, and there was lots of not production happening. So that actually that has taken the wind. There were so many things that have taken the wind out of auto auto market. 2008, 2009, 2010. With the cash for clunkers and all the stuff around that just hurt the consolidation. And then 2020 into 2021, there was this crap production being done. Uh, and it has just collapsed. It has collapsed the market. So that's why it's just so bad at this point. Yes, Ed. Jaguar had that hilarious ad campaign like 6 months ago. Yes, and they literally did nothing to fix it. And so their entire business is collapsing. It is actually one of the funniest things ever. I mean, it absolutely is funny. Sue M. Nissan was calling me to ask me to buy back my Rogue. Yeah, Nissan. That's a whole nother ball of problems. I mean, that's a car company that dealer is suffering at this point because his car company is in trouble. They they make really they no offense, but they're known for not making very good cars. And I think it caught up with them. And so the dealers are desperate. That's what happens when dealers are desperate. They're just like, hey, we know somebody that brings it in. They take good care of it. It's low miles. Let's see if we can buy it. But then you can't replace it. So I mean that's always the problem because I've had people with the F1 my F-150, and I'm like, that's nice, but how do I replace it? Because this thing's paid for and it has everything I want in it, and it's paid for and has a warranty. What am I buying with that? Let's see. Weekly World News says Dennis owns 3 Nissan Leafs. Ah, Sue M. Their engines suck. My mechanic said they're an issue. They have to go with the Toyota version. Yes. That would be like a RAV4 or I guess Highlander. Uh the Nissan, the big thing with Nissans, and it's amazing because remember they're a French Japanese company. I've never seen cars have so many electrical problems on just basic stuff as Nissans. If you look at every Nissan Altima, one of the taillights is dimmer because there is a bad ground or a short in that wire. And it's through the entire line of cars. It isn't just a one-off, "Oh, no." No, literally. They all have this one problem where they have a dim taillight, and it's just terrible. I mean, it's so I that they just have lots of little I think their V6 also is an engine that kind of likes to grenade itself. And then they actually Nissan came out with a variable displacement engine, which had a it kind of changed position of the crankshaft to change how much compression it had. And I have and that only lasted a year, so I imagine it was a massive failure. Let's see. Ed Rooney, do you think light bulbs have gotten really low quality? The last new car I had, I put so many sets of brake light bulbs in, and every time I leave the house, I see multiple cars with bulbs out. Well, it depends. Um, I haven't noticed any difference in the light bulbs. In my older cars, I mean, my Charger's all LED. My Charger's all LED. I don't have any light bulbs in the car. But the BMWs are light bulbs. And I've changed the light bulbs in my E30 and my E36 with newer stuff. I haven't noticed any issues. A lot of it is the wiring on the cars could be taking them out. And it really depends on the car if there's a short. And because these harnesses are so complicated now and the way they do things that it could be blowing the bulb out. It could be shorting and hitting like, 18 volts or 20 volts and then just pop and then, pop it out. So you think they'd be able to master a tail light? No, no, they can't. Yeah, but so light bulbs and stuff, I don't think it's truly a quality issue on the bulb itself, but I think that it's a lot to do with the cars themselves because the light bulb itself, if you buy this like a Sylvania bulb or Philips bulb, and they still make them. I mean, it's a light bulb. It's hard for it to be screwed up. I mean, I have trays of old ones, but I also have how to get new ones, and I haven't found any issue with light bulbs. I have found the issue with cars though. BMW on the newer BMWs, post mid '90s. So anything like mid '90s forwards, they have these modular taillights, and the modular taillights have a bulb and socket that go in. I don't have any. I gave them all to my mother. And what happens is that there's two little prongs on the side like this, and those prongs burn up, and that could be taking the light bulbs. Um, that could be taking the light bulbs out too because they that could be they could short it out and they'll take it right out. But I've seen those where they actually were smoked They actually got so shorted, they were black all around it. No, I am not shilling for big bulb. Oh my god, Ed Rooney. That's funny. But yeah, so BMW has had this problem for years, and it's just a disposable part. Yes, my last name is actually Sylvania. That's correct. Um, but the they a lot of it's been the design for manufacturing to make it faster or have it so service can be done better, and BMW showed that. Um, Paul Erickson, hey, hello, how are you? Are the higher end car batteries worth it? Yes, yes. Now here's the catch. All right, so you're talking like an AGM battery, because all my cars have AGM batteries in them. Well, except for my E36, my uncle put that battery in, but it's from Walmart, and you go every 3 years and change it. But nevertheless, but all the other ones I put AGMs. Now, if you have a newer car, a lot of times you have to tell the computer that it's an AGM. My truck, I had to tell it was an AGM. Why? No idea, but I had to tell it. Uh, the big thing on the AGM batteries is that they can sit for a longer amount of time. They will last 10 years. God honest truth. I had one in my charger for over 10 years, and it would have lasted longer, except my alternator went out and took it with it. It was a homicide ending right there. There's a whole thing going on, and the and so yeah, I would highly recommend getting that type of battery for your car, especially if you live someplace where it's extremely hot or extremely cold, because it will last when it's gel suspended, not water suspended. Also, for the car sits, it will help it not kill the battery. Because my old cars sit for like now, it's raining hard every day. They're just sitting there with car covers on them because that's just the way it is at this point. So I have those batteries in there. So like a month from now, I can go start them up and they'll be fine. But yeah, definitely AGM batteries. And here's the hint: get it at Advanced Auto Parts, Die Hard brand. There's only two manufacturers for batteries in the world. There literally is only two. And you could also get a coupon from them and get 15 or 20% off. And then it makes it tolerable, a little palpable there. Diesel Larry. Dennis, incompetence runs rampant everywhere. The new Bobcat mowers have the hydro pump is exposed under the cutting deck. Yep, oh my god. Are you serious? Why would you put something that is hydraulic underneath the deck of a lawnmower? That's almost that's incredibly stupid. Wow. And well, that's just like General Motors. That's like General Motors putting their computers in the lower part of the front fender well. Sue M, what if you tell the computer it's an AGM battery, but it's really not? I don't know. I guess it won't charge it right because the AGMs are very finicky with charging. Well, kind of, but not really. Well, the computer system's going to be kind of confused on it, but it just charges better, and I guess it's the voltage is the way it drops down. It, you know, read. I'm trying to remember exactly what happens, but I think that's pretty much it. It's just the way the voltages are read by the computer, and it's just the way it's going to charge it. Because on modern systems, all that charging is controlled by the computer system. Anything that's like past probably like 2012 or 2013. Jamie, who here tells people when their brake or tail lights are out? I do. I absolutely do. It's like, dude, you got lights out, man. It's like, and sometimes it's a BMW, and BMW is like that dash has to be lit up like a Christmas tree because it tells you when the lights are out. You're welcome, Paul. You're welcome, Paul. 2D's ladder. They're not, yeah. So those pumps are just sticking out in the. That's genius. That's awesome. Good stuff, man. Uh, Here it is. But I love these. Benjamin, my cousin has a Dodge Journey. You have to take the wheel off to access the battery. Yep. There's a couple of vehicles like that. There's a couple of vehicles like that. The Journey is one of them. I I'm trying to think if the Bronco Sport slash oh great, the fireworks is starting. Cool. Or the Escape is that way also. It is really really silly. Yeah, the Strat same I think the Journey and the Stratus the same chassis. And it's just an idiotic it is just the most idiotic thing ever. That's an engineer for you, though. They don't have to work on the car. And I mean, that's a maintenance item. It's not even like it's something special. It's a maintenance item. But this has been going on for years. Great example. I'm actually going through the video of working on my E36 that the Intrepid Assistant's going to get my daughter. And I actually have all the video of me doing the clutch on that car and the rear main seal and all that. And I literally haven't really worked on it as a video to present because I have like PTSD from this. It was 12 hours. And I'm a little like I'm a little like I'm a little PTSD'd on this because this car. But the key is I pointed out in the video BMW in on that engine was a M52. They took a big plastic intake manifold to make the car run better, and it came and they're inline sixes. So the intake manifold came all the way over to the brake booster, right? It's all the way over. Well, they use the same starter as they do on an E30, right? And it's mounted on the top of the transmission. It's on the top. Now on an E30, it's easy because you can get the front bolts. Just you lean down because there's nothing in your way. This car, the intake manifold's in your way. And you go and people tell you to take the intake manifold off to take the starter on and off the car. And I actually had myself having a 5-minute rant about that because I'm like, no. And so I mean this is just the engineering. And then in 97, because it's a 95, 97 BMW went, oh my God, if we take the starter and we actually put bolt holes, we actually put bolt holes in it and thread and make the bosses thicker, you won't need the nuts. Well, thanks. So yeah. So when that starter dies in that car, the 97 starter's going in because I am not doing it. And I actually had a bruise on my arm right here, reaching over the transmission to hold the nut in place. Actually, the North Star is worse because that was in the engine. BMW did that. This is just nasty. Like you'll hurt yourself working on it, or you have to take the intake manifold off, which I don't like doing. But the North Star was built in the V, if I remember correctly, and BMW did the same thing. All the BMW Hot 8s, all the Hot 8s. So anything that was the twin turbo 8, the starter is in the middle of the V facing backwards. So when it goes bad, you got to take the intake manifold off. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's the same way because you have to take the intake manifold off. And it is absolutely just it's retarded, as they say in Massachusetts. I mean, seriously, having to take an intake manifold off to change a starter is so stupid. Only an engineer could think of something like that. Now think about this for a second. If you have ass in your car, no, auto start stop, and that will cause the starter to burn out and much faster if you leave it on. Don't leave it on. Turn off the ass. Don't have ass in your car. Um, if and a lot of these have the starters in the V. Now you're looking at like if you can't do it yourself, you're looking at like $1,000 bill to change a starter in a car. Seriously, if you leave the ass on, you're gonna absolutely you're gonna absolutely toast that starter in like a third of the time. And starters at this point, oh, this Toyota did the same idiotic thing. Well, that Toyota V8 totally just I like non sequiturs, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. That Toyota V8, they built that thing like a race car. Once again, though, it was like typical of the Asian companies, and they're smart for doing this. They just stole other people's homework and then they improved it because that engine is actually better than anything BMW ever built. The same thing with actually, it's the same thing with the Genesis. The Genesis stole the BMW V8. They literally copied. They copied the 4 point was it the 4.4, 4.8, the N62. They literally copied all the homework on that car. And then they took all the problems and they got rid of it. From my understanding, that that Genesis V8 is 1,000 times better than any BMW V8. That's been my understanding of it. That's a very reliable engine because they found every problem you could have with the BMWs and they just fixed it. Yeah, when you steal into people's homework, you can do that. So it's just yeah, placement on stuff on cars is actually at the time at times is mind numbing. Uh, in the starter thing, I just don't grasp. I just don't grasp. That's like I did a video on the Maserati TC, Chrysler TC by Maserati because why not? And that car actually had it where you had to take the intake manifold off to change the cap and rotor. Just yeah, on the Maserati on the Maserati engine, which is just a Chrysler engine with Maserati stuff put on it. Uh, no. Benjamin, I need a fuel pump for my Ford EcoSport. Basically, I have to remove the entire bottom of the vehicle and all the wheels and windows and radios to get it. Ah. But you know what is true? If you have a BMW X5, a BMW 5 Series, BMW 7 Series, BMW X7, that if the air conditioning evaporator goes bad, the entire car on the inside has to be disassembled. Everything. The front seats have to come out. The center console comes out. The dash comes out. And then you can get to your evaporator because they basically what I figure is that they BMW at the beginning of the process puts an evaporator on the line and it has a little holder on it, and then they just take the rest of the car and they build it around it. That's what it seems like when you're actually a mechanic and working on stuff because there are things like why is this like this? And why is this like this? Because I did a water pump on an X5 4.4 liter V8. Hated that truck. Hated it with passion. And so I needed to take off the front pulley, or actually I needed to get the bottom bolt on the water pump. Literally every bolt, once you get everything off, every bolt was right there except for one. It was behind the lower pulley. And so you had to undo the lower pulley, which had these little 8 millimeter bolts that were actually about 5 inches back from the front of the pulley, and you can't see them. And so I sat there for an hour, and it took me 4 hours, 3 hours. I did in 3 hours. So it took me almost an hour of the 3 hours working on this car, doing just those bolts because you couldn't see anything. And you had to I didn't realize it till actually I had all the belts off, and I had to find a way to hold it in place. I was using an air impact, thankfully, and was able to zip them, but still, and then putting it back in, there's no center pinion to hold it in place, so you literally have to use the bolt to guide it in with your and thank God I have tinier hands, and you had to kinda go in there and start them and then work like that. Yes, like Uncle Tony and others said, new cars are built to throw away. I say the same thing. I work on cars. I'm not just somebody that sit here and talks about cars. I actually work on cars. I've worked on new cars. I worked on old cars, and new cars are disposable. 100% they're disposable. Um, I mean, honestly, it's literally it is absolutely the same. It is absolutely true. They are disposable. There's nothing redeeming about these cars. And it's a trap we're falling into with them. That's why I want simpler cars. You get rid of cafe, you get rid of all this other stuff. We get simpler cars, they last longer. Won't cost as much. Ed Rooney, on a small block Chevy, you can change the timing chain without dropping the oil pan. Small block on a LA Chrysler, you can do that. On a RB Chrysler, you can do that. Yeah, drop the oil pan. The what happens though is that the um you have to reseal the lower part of it because the case goes up against the front of the oil pan. There's two bolts that run up into it. Uh oh, without dropping the oil pan. Oh, and see on Chrysler you can. I can read. I have a high IQ. Yeah, that's right. You can't change. That's right. You can't. I should have seen that big word. Can't. Wow. But that's Chevy engineering for you. God damn. All right, Barbara DeRush. Dennis, how did you actually learn about cars? Did you have someone that used to work on cars? Somebody that used to... All right. So I'll bore you with the short, long version of the story. So my family, on my mother's side, they were always mechanical. My great, my grandfather, he was born in 29, and Italian immigrant parents, and so they'd have a lot of money. So he learned how to fix things. I mean, it's just what it was. I mean, his first car was a Model A, and think about that. It's in the 40s, and he's driving a Model A, and so he learned how to fix things. And so my uncle was born in 53, and he ended up, you know, having to learn how to fix cars. So my grandfather had a taxi business, and my uncle was starting to fix cars at 13. And so they, work on cars. They actually had a gas station, not gas station, they had a repair shop. My uncle worked at a car parts place, and the so they did that. And so when I was like 12, I got suckered into it. My uncle would ask me to help on the car doing things, and so I'd hand them tools, and I learned what the tools were. And at 13, I started actually doing things. I started actually, tightening things, taking things apart, and and then I started working more with him. Like he would need help, and I would go help him with things. And I would watch what he did, like almost apprenticing. And so I did that. I mean, I did that all through. I actually, when I was in high school, before I was even driving, I worked at a gas station, and I pumped gas, but I fixed flat tires, and then I also did oil changes. And then they knew my uncle, and so I started doing more stuff. So I started doing like real repairs on cars, and I did that all. And so and plus I always had cars that needed my charger was an absolute basket case, and I had to constantly fix it. So to be able to drive anywhere, I had to fix it. I actually changed a half shaft out of 40 XP on the side of the road in New Jersey when I was driving to Florida. The half shaft broke. I actually changed it on the side of the road. Well, not on the side of the road. I was in a mall parking lot, and I changed this and drove 1,100 miles to Florida after I just fixed the car. So yeah, I mean, it's just been from necessity, and now it's a lot more of pleasure. For the last 10 years, well, not really, because that damn XI, but for the most part, for the last 10, 15 years, it's been more out of pleasure because I am very mechanically oriented. I'm very analytical, and being analytical, car stuff is really relaxing to me because it's analytical. Plus B equals C all the time in an old car. It may be different A's and B's to get the C, but you will always have that same diagnostic route. And so that's why, I enjoy it, and my mind works on that. And I enjoy fixing things like that. Last Saturday, I took my Intrepid assistant outside, and because I've been trying and trying, and on the car that she's me getting the E36 convertible, we changed the oil. We did a full oil change and a full service on the car, and I showed her how to take tires off with a wrench that's in the car, and I showed her to take tires off with an impact gun, and I showed her how to, a rim and how to put them back on. Because that's what really that's what you need. If you have kids, you need to show them this or have someone show them this, because you need to have basic mechanical skills so that even if you don't do all the work yourself, when you go to a place, you can tell a mechanic he's full of crap, because that's really the important thing. So yeah. So he worked on a 360 crisis. Yeah, I'm sorry. Jamie, when I was a kid, my father was working on the car. I put in such a bad mood. I dreaded when I'd hold the flashlight. Ugh, he must have had Chevys. Uh, Vintage 76, they recommend buying older cars and trucks and park cars for spare cars. Yes, you have room. I mean, I would love to do that, but right now, till I can do something, I don't have room. Um, Ed Rooney, did they immigrate to New York? Oh, my family, yes. Um, all my family except one, my great grandmother on my mother's side. One of my great grandmothers on my mother's side. She came through Boston. The rest came through Ellis Island. So they were just, there. But yeah, and my great grandfather, um, my mother's father's father, he was a carpenter. He built houses. Literally, he was freaking phenomenal. This guy built houses. I mean, he actually drive in a nail with one swing. He was one of those types of carpenters. Absolutely phenomenal carpenter. And my other great grandfather, from Sicily, was he was he was just a worker. And but he was one of these guys that had he had the whole he held court with the cigarette bouncing up and down his mouth. He held court. He had a lot of friends from the old country because he came over when he was younger, and they would sit there and talk about crap because that's what they used to do in Sicily. They sit there and they shoot the shit, and they would just do things. Let's see. God, Benjamin will not leave the demon thing alone. It takes 6 people to fill the washer fluid in a demon, and all can be done at a dealership. It's almost to that point. Let's see. Sue M, my brother did some same thing. He's 58, so he can fix cars pre-computer. Now he's a hot shot with Chrysler. Oh, good for him. Hopefully things get better there. Do the video. Oh, wait, I'm lost in thought. On working on cars, doing stuff. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. If that's what you're asking, yeah, I'll work on it. Ed Rooney, my great grandpa came from Italy in the early 20s, but he ended up in Boston. I have relatives there with the same last name as you. Oh, no kidding. They're not. I doubt they're related to me, because if it's the name that you saw, um, yeah, most of them were murdered in Italy. Uh, let's see. Yes, Sue. You bring your brother to tell them they're full of S. Yes. He's so envious you're teaching intrepid assistant. Yeah, no, I have to, because I really don't like that. And I don't like him when they try it with me, because I literally look at him like, you're just full of crap. Go away. See, here we go. My grandpa and his dad were bricklayers in Boston. They came out to California. Yeah, a lot of Guineas did that. I mean, because the weather was actually a little bit better in the Northeast. It was actually nicer than Italy, if you honestly, because it gets cold in Italy, and in the summertime it gets stupid hot. Like right now, I just had a heat wave, and it was over 100. And yeah, I was allegedly going to be going now, and I'm glad I didn't, because that is that's bad. Oh yeah, do a video on teaching my daughter. Sure, I got to get her. I got to get her approval. She's such a diva. Uh, Paul Erickson, have you shared your thoughts on the slate truck concept? No, I have not. I have not. Um, And honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna spend much time on it because I it's another toy. I feel all EVs are toys. I call them appliances. There's a reason I call them appliances. You have to plug them in to make them work. And if I'm correct in this slate truck, it's a little EV. And it would be great if it was like the one of the Japanese trucks that used a little, 3-cylinder engine and you could just drive it around because it would be a pretty impressively good vehicle and it'd be dirt cheap. Um, and so, actually, let me go pull this up. Let me see. Let me see about this slate because I'm just talking out my butt right now. Because what is it? What is a slate? Yep, EV. Yeah, it's a toy. It's a toy. None of those things are real vehicles. They have no life expectancy. In the real world, they really don't. And for people doing real work, they just aren't. They're just not good. I mean, for me, I tow with my truck. An EV truck would be useless because like going to Mo parties, 700 miles each way. Through mountains, towing 6,000 pounds. It's just not. No, it's not happening. Sue M. I watch all your videos involving summoning Info 6 in your head. You can keep on rewatching them. You actually can watch them 10 times. There's no law against that. Yeah, I'm trying, and that's what I'm trying to do. I always try to make things simple when I work on stuff. And I have so many, like, the clutch ones, maybe, it's a little above what you would ever want to do, but it's actually kind of fascinating how a clutch works in a car. Because technically the clutch is always attached to the transmission. It's only when you with the disc and all, it's always attached. It's only when you push on the pedal that it's not connected. It's always attached though. And it's just that when you're in neutral, when you start the car up, the transmission's spinning, but there's nothing happening. Yeah. Mr. Slate was Fred Flintstone's boss. Yes, yes, he was. Yes, no more EV tax credits either. No, and I applaud that because why should I have to pay for your vehicle? Nobody ever helped pay for mine. Seriously, I didn't get any government money to pay for any of my cars. None of them. I mean, so I would have liked a nice government grant to do my charger. That I did it on the cheap. I think I did it for 25 grand when you could. Now I probably can't even buy. I couldn't even buy the car for 25 grand. Yeah, so I mean that's where we are now. I'm gonna, yeah, and the worst thing of all with this slate vehicle is it's coming out at a time where the entire EV experiment is dead. I mean, it just hasn't realized that it's over yet. It's like that guy standing at the party and doesn't realize everybody's kind of leaving, but he's still kind of there. That's what we're talking about at this point with these things. And I think that they thankfully it's what by Amazon, so they have so much money from their server services that they can just piss away money like this. But honestly, as a real process, um, it's a small EV truck thing that you can customize. It's just a concept. There's really no. It's basically, as they used to say in computers, it's vaporware, and so I don't know. I mean, there's so many of these already so many of these EV companies are ready to fold because they didn't know how to game the system like Musk did. Musk gamed the system because he gets tax credits from all the other car manufacturers. And I wonder if this government has got rid of that too, where they stop giving corporate welfare, stealing from one company and give it to another through credits, carbon credits, which is just absolutely insanity. So um, I don't know, but yeah, the whole EV thing is just, and I actually am in my video I'm doing hopefully about tomorrow on Stellantis, and I do address that honestly. I think all car manufacturers should stop this experiment. Just stop it. Ford is losing $1 billion a quarter on their EVs. Whoa, puzzle. Oh my god, puzzle. It's puzzle, everyone. Puzzle has made an appearance. She is here. She is here. Hey, hey, how you doing? How you doing? She is here, and she's excited, and she almost flipped the chair over. Cool. That's my cat puzzle. She's my partner in crime. She helps me edit all the time. She's great. She doesn't like to go for car rides, but yeah, she's good at this. She's good at company. So yeah, but I mean, honestly, General Motors is walking away from it. Toyota was smart, never really got into it. They made some, but they really kind of like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And the Chinese EV market, if you read a lot of articles, the Chinese EV market is is imploding. And remember, the Chinese government keeps those companies afloat because they are communists at the end of the day. So no, yeah, Benjamin, I'm broke and I have a billion more than Ford. No, Ford makes money. They just lose the billion on the EVs, but they offset it with the real making of the money in the real cars. But it because they made it a separate company. They were smart. Their EV business is actually a separate company, and that's good. So when it folds, it doesn't affect main Ford. So there's that. So yeah, but I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how many of these EV companies fold in the next year because we're at that point. There's just everybody that wants one has one. It's just like McLarens. It's just like Corvettes. It's just like all these things, and it's when they who has them. That's it. Small EVs are great for city driving. That's about it. Hybrids are the way to go. Yes, hybrids are if they did them right. They don't do them right. A diesel hybrid would be the way to go. You can drive 1,000 miles. In fact, make it like a train. Small diesel engine running 1,000 RPM, powering two electric motors, and you could probably go to California and back from Florida on a tank of gas or a tank of diesel. Suan, what's the name of Ford's EV company? Oh Christ! Everybody asks me hard questions. Um, what the hell is it called again? All right, hold on. Do 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 do. Uh, Ford. What is it called? It's a whole. Oh God. Ford. I guess it's called. Ford. Okay, what the hell is it called? I don't remember. Name because they literally got. They're getting destroyed. Uh. Just Ford Blue. Let's see. Let's see. That calls includes Ford Blue for electric vehicle, a separate division for it's called Ford Model E. That's what it's called, Ford Model E. That's the name of their company, and it just pisses money away. That's all it does. Um, like Price was the first hybrid. They looked, and I don't understand why Toyota has to make it look like that. It doesn't need to look like that. But yeah, that was it gets 50 miles to the gallon. Yeah, of course in Europe they have diesel hybrids, but they're the style just like the gas hybrids. But I'm talking like a diesel electric, like a train. And then you're driving thousands of miles. Oh God, Ben, what is the distance between here and the sun? I can answer it. 93 million miles. Uh, Vintage 76 garage. They need to bring back small diesel cars and trucks. Hopefully, with all the changes they're making now to try to roll back stuff with the EPA and CAFE and all the other stuff that's basically unconstitutional. Because it is. Maybe we can get vehicles that we need because honestly, most people out there and diesel. Here's the thing with diesel: you can make diesel. You can make diesel out of algae. You can use old cooking oil. I mean, it literally anything that's combustible will burn. It's also the least refined fuel. It literally is the least refined fuel. But for commuters, I mean, a mid-sized diesel car, something like bigger than a Taurus, Look at 60 miles to the gallon all day long. I mean, and the maintenance on it is nominally oil changes, literally oil changes and fuel filter changes. But other than that, I mean, diesel engines don't they don't rev high, they don't get hot, they don't do anything that gas engines have. They don't need weird injection stuff. I mean, they just literally have high pressure injectors, push it in, high compression, boom, 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 and they run all day. Um, how do I know that? I read a lot. Uh, yeah. What's the average distance to the moon from the Earth, or a range? What is like what the range of the Earth to the moon? Because there actually is a range. So there's one. But yeah, so I mean, and that honestly, i- that's correct. That's correct. Yes, it takes 60 hours to fly to the moon. That's some airplane you're on. That's crazy. So one more, and this is actually very interesting because well, we're talking about America. So let's talk about how General Motors can't build every 2025 Corvette ZR1. I'm starting to get into this. They have 1,000 horsepower ZR1, and they took 310 orders. Think about this. They took 310 orders, and then they put them on hold, and they were supposed to start in April, and they built 70 of them, and that's now we're in July. Now they're going to transition on August 4th to the new model, and they're not going to make all the new ones. They have 245 left, and they're going to have 2 weeks because July 14th is when they come back from their July 4th break because, everybody needs a 2-week vacation for July 4th. Thank you, union members. So I don't know how these people are going to be happy about this because there's $7,200 price range and $100 bump for destination charge. So $7,300 more if you end up with a 2026. So yeah. So that is General Motors going hold my beer on just on just incompetence. And let's see, Dennis, what do you think of Fiat? My cousin's in Fiat. There's an old term for them. It's called "fix it again, Tony." They're in Italy. They don't buy Fiats. In Italy, they buy Volkswagens. I kid you not. They buy Peugeots. They buy Volkswagens. They buy Vauxhalls. They buy anything that's not a Fiat. Now, the busiest guy in every town I was in was the repairman for Fiats. Literally, this guy was so freaking busy that he had like 20 cars around him. And I was talking to him, and he literally says he's never out of work. He constantly has cars. I mean, and one of the towns had 3,000 people in it, but it's just literally the cars break so often. And they were all ranges. They're all the same. They're junk. I'm Italian. I would never, ever buy a Fiat. I don't care. I don't care if it's even a 148. You know, it's not. No, they're not good cars. There's nothing good about them. Yes, Haggerty made a video about the Zero One vet. Yeah, it's an animal, but if you could get your hands on one, like I said, I haven't seen one yet, and I'm in Florida. Yes, the Germans do know how to make their cars. Yes, they do. Yes, you do. The little guy with the mustache really pushed that on. Yes, total disgrazia. No, no, no. I'm sorry. I like actually getting from A to B without the car breaking down. I'm weird. I know. I'm very, very weird. But go look at Alfa Romeo and the problems they have. Just type in Alfa Romeo. mechanical problems or Alfa Romeo recalls. It'll put in Fiat recalls. It'll blow your mind. I mean, it literally is the scariest thing ever how bad they're built. That's just the way they are. And actually, the small Jeep, one with the little dead eyes for taillights, I can't remember what it's called. That actually is a Fiat. That's a Fiat 500 XL, and they branded it a Jeep. This is why I was saying Jeep has some problems. They're running Fiats out there. It's really not great. Oh well. So I think we're gonna wrap this up because we also ended on a bombshell of the Fiat question because why not? And how General Motors is just incompetent. So yeah, I think we'll just the Mars rover gets 33 million miles to the gallon. Yes. Have they found anything yet? Any little green men? I need to find some little green men. All right. So we're gonna end up Fiats. Vintage 76 cars. I like the old Fiat. Yes. You didn't have to rely on it to get you anywhere though. And they had a wood intake manifold. So yeah. So Germans do not make a comfortable car. The Audi I drive like A5. I drive like the wind, but the comfort sucks. BMWs have always been comfortable to me. I don't know. I've always been comfortable in my BMWs. Even the E30, even though the suspension on there will take your teeth out, and I can tell you how thick the white lines are, it's still a comfortable car. All right, everybody. So everybody have a safe 4th. Make sure you keep all of those fingers. That's like a big thing. Keep your hands, don't blow your fingers off. Remember to light it with a long thing and run away. Don't throw it. Please, peace and love. Don't do that. Also, don't throw M80s into ash cans. Don't throw them into people's toilet vents. Please don't play with that type of stuff. I want to see everybody here back next week, and I will have a report over the weekend on my pizza because why the hell not? And sure, I will see everybody and have a happy 4th. And remember, America. If it's not raining, I'll do a burnout with my car for America. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have a happy 4th. Keep it safe. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.